But today they were able to shed some light on what she said during that time and also talk about some of the moments leading up to the disappearance. The internet searches were a big part of that news conference as well.
Yeah, and tracking her cell phone, seeing the searches she was going to. Let's listen into that part of the conference as well, just to kind of see where maybe her thought process was and what she was thinking about in the days leading up.
On July 11th at 7:30 a.m., the term "you have to pay for an Amber Alert" was searched. On July 13th at 1:03 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term "how to take money from a register without being caught" was searched. On July 13th at 2:13 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term "Birmingham bus station" was searched. On July 13th, 2:35 a.m., a search for a one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville was conducted with a departure date of July 13th. On July 13th at 12:10 p.m., a search for the movie Taken, a film about abduction, was conducted.
And the chief goes on to say that what they mentioned today at the press conference, these are the facts. This is what they know right now. They informed the family that they were going to be presenting the facts of the information that they have at this point. They say that they are going to figure it out. They promise us that. They talked about the manpower and everything that's gone into this investigation so far.
And they said now the focus really shifts, and it did really shift Saturday night into Sunday morning, into what happened during that 49 hours that she was gone. And that focus is going to continue because they want to figure out what happened. The chief again stressing there's no reason to think that there is a risk to public safety based on what they know at this point. They said the focus is to determine what happened during those 49 hours. They say the family has said that her mental state and the trauma at that point, based on that, she is not ready to talk or elaborate after that initial statement was given to investigators on Saturday night.
I thought it was interesting, too, that they played the entire 911 call that they received with the dispatcher on that Thursday night. They went through the entire call, exactly what she saw as she saw that child, mentioning that she drove another 600 yards, 6 football fields from the time that she was on the phone with 911, saw that 3 to 4-year-old child that she reported, and she didn't get out of the car when she did see that little boy.
All right, so I want to shift gears just a little bit and go back to one of the interviews that we saw earlier this week. This was an exclusive interview on the Today Show with her mother, and this was about the moments after her daughter walked back through the front door.
We tried to hug her as best we could, but I had to stand back because she was not in a good state. So we had to stand back and let medical professionals work with her.
And when I talked to you all on Saturday, you also said your daughter is a fighter and she would find a way back to you.
I felt that in my heart.
Is that what happened?
She did. She found her way back to us. However, we can't discuss the details.
All right, so that was the family speaking with Today earlier this week. Again, that was late Saturday night. They're speaking about that time frame. 10:44 Saturday night, that's when that 911 call came in from Carlee's home saying that she was able to walk back home. She walked back through the front door. They dispatched paramedics, obviously, took her to UAB for an evaluation. We understand at UAB she was able to speak with investigators and give that initial statement. That's when she talked about being held by kidnappers. She was able to escape. She talked about running through the woods and eventually making it back home.
And they're also piecing together camera footage, right, from neighbors nearby. They saw her actually walking on the sidewalk back to her home on Saturday night. That initial video that we have shown you on our newscast of the interstate video, actually seeing her car pulled over as well. They said they actually sent that off to the FBI as well to really zoom in to get some more clarity to actually see if they see anything more than her getting out of the passenger or the driver's side of the vehicle.
I want to get back to that news conference that we just listened to and brought to you live here on WVTM 13 and play you a bit of a sound from Chief Nick Durzis. This is when he was talking about was there a threat to public safety?
We've asked to interview Carlee a second time, but have not been granted that request. As you can see, there are many questions left to be answered, but only Carlee can provide those answers. What we can say is that we've been unable to verify most of Carlee's initial statement made to investigators, and we have no reason to believe that there is a threat to the public safety related to this particular case.
So again, that was Chief Nick Durzis there speaking about the investigation, that ongoing investigation into the disappearance of Carlee Russell. He kind of walked through the narrative, walked through the statement that she gave investigators. She says she was kidnapped off the side of I-459. She was gone for roughly 49 hours, was able to escape her kidnappers, and then made it back home. Investigators wanting to speak with her again and verify and look into more of that story.
And receiving pressure from the public. Of course, this is a safety issue. A lot of you at home probably sitting here watching this, a lot of people I've talked to about out and about in the community have come saying, hey, do you know what happened? A lot of rumors swirling around. So it was good today to have law enforcement, to have the police chief speaking about what they know, what is facts, what are facts, what they're looking through for each moment, and what is guaranteed at this time. So the rumor mill stops swirling. At least at this point.
And investigators, even Hoover's mayor, kind of spoke a little bit at the start of the news conference and talked about the police department's effort to be methodical and to look through every case and to make sure that they had their facts, in line before they went to the media with information. And so they talked about that obviously being an effort, every single day. But in a case like this, you want to make sure you understand what was going on. So they talked about that's kind of why it had been several days since we had a news conference and we had heard what happened. It was 6 days ago that the community first learned about her disappearance. So that was Saturday, but this was the first news conference that we heard from police since her return home on Saturday night.
And leading up to it, the days before, right? They're talking about those internet searches, which started on July 11th, asking, do you have to pay for an Amber Alert, the maximum age for an Amber Alert? Looking up the movie Taken, which is the film about abduction. These all play into possibly what is involved in this case or could potentially be involved in this case. So they're not just looking at the here and now, they're looking back to kind of track her movements leading up to this as well.